Professor Nirav Mehta. Today's session, we are going to talk about automobile component design, particularly design of power gears. In this particular session, we will going to discuss about different kind of notes and different consideration we are going to take to check the strength of our gear, because the strength will going to affect power transmission as well as torque transmission in case of our. So in this particular session, our main consideration will going to be check the strength of our. So strength will going to be our major criteria. Yeah. So in this particular session, we will have our first step towards our design procedure, and which is to find out what types of stresses and what type of wear will going to act upon our gear. So first of all, we have to consider our teeth as our basic element. So, in case of designing our gear, we should consider teeth as our basic element and design that teeth, particular single teeth, and then we will going to replicate this for our whole gear. So, first of all, we should know about different aspect and different geometrical aspect of our teeth. Here you can see there are different geometrical aspects from pitch circle to face width to top land to addendum, dedendum, flank, bottom land, and everything. So here we should consider our pitch circle, or you can say our flank. Here, so we got our teeth here. So to design this teeth, we should consider this teeth in a two way. One is to consider it as a cantilever beam. Here you can see our teeth is fixed at our gear bottom, and force is acting upon its one end. Here it has H height and B is its base. So in this consideration, we are going to consider it as a cantilever beam, and then we will consider it is under a static, or you can say compressive stress. So let's consider this. Our teeth will have two types of stresses. One is direct stress, or you can say compressive stress, generated by pinion on top of our gear teeth. Clear? Here you can see a node called P. Here it has two components. One is horizontal component, one is vertical component. Vertical component we are going to create vertical component and horizontal component. Vertical component will going to create compressive stress, and horizontal component will going to create bending stress. We have to design our gear in these two very criteria. So our criteria will should always our criteria should always have been to design it for bending stress as well as compressive stress. In compressive stress, it will show good amount of strength against forces. But in a case of bending stress, it will always tend to have vulnerable against this bending stress. Clear? So let's discuss about different types of stresses which going to act upon our gear. Yeah. So first is to find out this beam strength. How you are going to find out this beam strength? So as I have told you, compressive stress will not going to be predominantly working on our teeth. It will always going to be a bending stress. Bending stress will going to be affect predominantly. So in this bending stress, we have to consider our teeth as a cantilever beam. Here you can see force is acting as a Wn, which has two component, Wr and Wt. Wt is tangential component, or you can say that is the component which going to be predominantly working on our gear. Here, whereas Wr is compressive stress, which is also called reactionary stress or reactionary force, where Wt is called thrust force. clear, which has h, its length and its thickness is t, clear. Ultimately this is our basic teeth profile. So here, if I'm considering WR as our driving force, then I have to consider compressive stress theory. But when I'm considering WT as our driving force, our thrust force, then that is our criteria for a bending stress. So our equation will going to be as M by I is equals to sigma upon Y, classical equation for our bending stress. M by I is equals to sigma upon Y. Depending on that, here we have derived equation such as sigma W, which is My upon I, where sigma W is shear stress, or you can say bending stress generated due to this particular WT force here through that height H at base BC. Clear? So since shear stress is generated at the bottom, or you can say at the root of our teeth through that height h, for that base will going to be b. If I am considering base, which going to applicable in our moment of inertia, so base will going to be b and depth will going to be t. So our moment of inertia in this case will going to be bt square by 12. Clear? Y is half distance of its thickness. So ultimately, depending on that equation, we can put this m, which is moment. Moment is nothing but force into distance from its center of that root. Here, second thing is y, which is t by 2, and ultimately I is equals to bt cube by 12. So ultimately, our equation will look like this. You can see that wt is equals to, or equation for that limiting thrust force, you can tell it says like a limiting thrust force WT is equals to sigma W into B into T square upon 6H. Clear? Here T is for, because here we have considered our teeth as a cantilever. Now we have to put, or we have to give this teeth as our component or element of gear. So it should have a sufficient condition for that circular path. To consider it as a circular path, we have to convert in terms of pitch circle. So to convert into a pitch circle, we have to divide it by some fraction, and here that fraction is x. And to convert this height into pitch circle, or consideration or relation with this pitch circle, we have to divide it by k. So ultimately, t will going to be x into pc. Here you can see x into pc and h k into k into pc. So ultimately put this equation into that. So ultimately will going to be find this equation sigma w into b into pc into x square upon 6k. Here we will convert that x square upon 6k into some quantity which is directly affecting our gear, and that is called y, and this y is nothing but Lewis form factor. This Lewis form factor will always going to depend on module and teeth of our gear. So this y is our teeth form factor, which is going to depend on module and teeth of our gear. Here you can see different amount of different gear for a different particular criteria. Here you can see that different gear and different criteria for that, or for different angle for our gear, and y for that's the same here. Okay. So in the next slide, we will going to talk about this next particular criteria, and which is permissible sorry, which is permissible working stress for teeth in the Lewis equation. So here, what going to be a permissible stress? Here, permissible working stress. So that stress is not going to be a working stress. That is just assumed, or you can say a stress which is derived depending on its geometrical criteria. While it's working, we have to consider velocity as another factor. Here we have multiplied our working stress with velocity, and we will sorry our direct stress in our with velocity, and then we can find this working stress sigma w. So sigma w is allowable stress into velocity factor. This velocity factor, this particular velocity factor, which is cv, which is depending on speed of or velocity of our gear. Here you can see different number or different types of this velocity, and depending on we can find different amount of cv, value of cv here, which is depending on velocity of your gear. Here you can find out different number of allowable stress for different material that will going to be given to you in example. After that, let's talk about different types of stresses. In that case, first stress is dynamic tooth load. That allowable stress is nothing but stress it is calculated on paper, or you can say which is depending purely on your inputs rather than working condition. Here, that working stress, it is your real stress, which is always going to act on your working condition. Clear? Which is multiplied, which is represented by multiplication of allowable stress into velocity factor. Second thing is dynamic tooth load. What is this dynamic tooth? Clear? So this dynamic tooth load, it is when our gear is in motion. Clear? So how this dynamic tooth load will going to be act? So it is depending on how it will going to work on your here, the first, it shouldn't have irregularity. If it is have irregularities, while tooth spacing, it will exerted or it will feel more dynamic tooth load. Second thing, if it is have any kind of irregularities or a deflection under tooth load, it will going to affect directly to your teeth. Clear? So dynamic tooth load, it is represented by steady load plus increment of load due to dynamic action. So steady load is nothing but our previous load, which is WT, nothing but WT. And this increment in load, it is purely going to depend on your velocity, and which is represented by here. You can see here 21V into BC plus WT divided by 21V plus under root BC plus WT. So that is going to be representing your WT or WD, or you can say dynamic load. Clear? This dynamic load, it is a working load while our gear is in motion. It will going to be predominantly affect if irregularities, inaccuracy or deflection of gear teeth under the load occurs. After that, let's talk about static load. Static load is a simple type of load when your gear is just about to touch each other. Here, when the gears will going to be about to touch each other, that will create not in motion, that will create a static load on your gear. Here you can see that equation ws, static load ws is equals to sigma E into B into PE into Y, where B is breadth, PC is represented by pitch circle, and pitch circle also you can say it like pi into m in terms of module. Module will going to be pitch circle divided by pi. So ultimately PC will be module into pi. Clear? So you can put it like that. After that, this was talk about static load. Then we'll talk about wear. This wear load, it will have very lower amount of effect. It will going to be effect after some time when your gear is get old, and it will have if it is have irregularities. So wear load has equation dp into b into q into k, where dp is diameter of pinion, p is the bed width of your teeth, Q is ratio factor. What kind of ratio? So velocity ratio factor, and which will have value of 2 into velocity ratio upon velocity ratio plus 1, which is also can be represented in terms of 2 into Tg upon Tg upon Tp. And and K is a load stress factor, and which is represented by sigma E into sine phi in upon 1.4 into 1 upon EP upon 1 plus 1 upon EG. Where sigma is endurance strength for particular material. Sine phi is where phi is nothing but a pressure angle. EP and EG both are Young's modulus for opinion and Clear? So I hope you understand this. We are not will going to act after some time, but we will going to consider even in this design also. Clear? After that, you can due to this load, if we haven't designed our gear for sufficiently to take this load, it will going to, or they are going to fail. Clear? So what kind of failure will going to occur? One is bending failure due to that bending stress. Another is pitting due to the static stress, as well as any foreign material which comes in between pinion and gear. Third one is scoring due to lesser amount of lubrication. Then abrasive wear due to continuously wearing out which or running out with each other. Ultimately corrosive due to external effect, weather effect. So these are different types of gear tooth failure. And here you can see different types of stress. One is here the first one is pitting, and another is failure due to bending. I hope you have understand different type of stresses and load acting on your gear. So in next video, we are going to develop algorithm to design this for gear. I hope you understand each and every step. If you have any doubt, you can contact me directly. Thank you so much. We are stopping here.